Welcome back, reality designers. Denny Van here, your host with Hypnosis by Design. Good morning. As of this recording from the Chicagoland metropolitan area, we have had quite the cold snap here. I mean, today's episode is about feelings, but feeling sensory, through the skin. Whew, it's quite the snap. So let's see. In my area, it's Chicagoland. It's 25 degrees, and thank you, listeners in the area. I've actually met and face to face in 3D, many of you. So welcome, welcome. And let's see, 25 degrees, but it feels like 15. And in Celsius, because we have listeners from Europe, that is -4, but I don't see the feels like. Do they have a feels like inside? Yes, feels like -9. So, whew, it's been quite the cold snap, and we're supposed to warm up a little bit. So, I want to talk about feelings. I mean, we talked about the feeling of the cold and quite the change in temperature coming into winter, making some changes. I'm going to be making some changes in the background. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but just following the nervous system and making those changes. If you have any suggestions, this is my office. Welcome to my little dot on the planet in my office. That window faces south and it faces the front. The front of our house faces that way, south. And we love it here. But feelings, back to feelings. Phew. I grew up with four brothers and I have a stepbrother. And sometimes when, you mention that word feelings, how'd that make you feel? Phew, that could be so triggering for them, right? So today I want to reframe that word feelings into something that feels good with your nervous system, something that resonates with your nervous system. Oh, you can see our puppy in the background. She's a rescue. We just got her. She's so sweet. Um, ah, Stay focused. Yeah, I was thinking about changing up the backgrounds, talking about feelings. I wanted to know what you guys thought, talking about backgrounds. Sometimes we have this blur. I don't know. I'm not sure what I think about this blur. To me, it brings up like, what's in the background? I want to know what they're hiding. What are they hiding? But some people like it. It's used quite often. But I know we're coming into 2025, so I want to change up, for the new year, new topic, new theme. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I like the blur. Oh, and check this out. You can add like makeup, all kinds of eyebrows. What would this look like? Ooh. Ooh. What do you think? Mm-hmm. What else we got here? Mustache and beard. Oh, you got to change the color. That's not so dark. I don't know. Anyway, probably no mustache and beard. Lip color. Ooh, ooh, ooh. How about some pink? Hmm. Red, burgundy. What do you think? Do they have blush? I don't see blush. Eyebrows, mustache, beard, lip color. Anyway, I'm not sure I like it. Okay, enough play. Okay, no mustache, beard, no eyebrows, none. It still looks like it's there. None. Okay, there we go. uh, None. And then none. Whew. All right, so maybe the curtain in front I could change up and I have my fairy. fountain of manifestation. She's behind me, water energy. And then I have my um, crystal and Buddha energy and my blue lamp. So that could be changing. We're going to kind of play around with it, clean up and change things, freshen things up. So I'm not much of a designer. The painting behind the wall was custom done by an artist to make it look leathery. I love it. I think I want to keep that. I really like that. It's kind of unique, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, feelings. Yeah. So just thinking about that change kind of brings up feelings. And let's talk about how that word feelings has been negatively associated with weakness, or how many of us authority types of emotional energy type have been told you're being too much, too irrational, those kind of things, and it's shown as a weakness. But today we're going to talk about how to reframe it as a tool for understanding the emotional authority type. So that word feelings, how does that make you feel? This has really become a loaded word in our society. And it is often associated with weakness or vulnerability if you show your feelings, and leading many to suppress their emotions instead of expressing them openly, the way their energy type likes to express it. And it's become a stigma surrounding feelings. And it has created a culture where emotional intelligence is undervalued and even frowned upon. But what if, just what if we reframed the way we think about feelings? You know, we can use self hypnosis for that. Whenever that term comes up, feelings, we reassociate it back to how the body is reacting. And for those who have been closed off to their feelings, we just start with two things. Is the body tight and retracting, or is the body open and relaxed? That's all you're feeling. Just start there. And when you hear that term and you feel triggered by it, start there. Start to reframe it. Because when we have this understanding that our emotions are not just random reactions, but instead they are valuable pieces of information that can really guide us toward greater self-awareness and growth. And as we know, if you know the four-step process, the first step to activating the success mechanism within your human design, that first step is awareness. So when we acknowledge and process that tightness or even that openness, allow it to process, we gain this insight into ourselves. We know what environments will create that tightness. We know what environments will create that open and expandingness. We know what foods might create that tightness. And we know what foods might create that open expandedness. And if you don't know that yet, that's why we experiment. We have the human design deconditioning experiment, where you learn what your energy type, your nervous system will tell you. It doesn't lie. The body doesn't lie. So we start here. And so when you begin to really acknowledge and process this part, we gain this insight into ourselves and learn how to better become the captain of our ship, better navigate the world around us, the space of variations. And through embracing your unique human design, your energy type, especially your authority type. And it is said that 51% of the population is an emotional authority type. That's human design theory. And 49. So we have like almost 50-50. So this could create tension between the authority types, the emotional and then the non-emotional energy types. But each person possesses different characteristics that make up their energy. So it doesn't matter if you're a manifester, I can speak for manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, projectors, or reflectors. It seems to go in that order because I speak for manifestors, then the next most popular is generators, but manifestors make up, the theory is between 8 to 9%. I just rounded up to 10% of the population have manifestor energy. And we possess these different characteristics. And this affects how we interact with others and especially with ourselves emotionally. So if you're a non-emotional, you're maybe a sacral energy type or an egoic energy type or a splenic energy type. Regardless of that, you will probably have emotional energy types in your experience. So listen up, just hold space for them without telling the emotional types that they're irrational or they're over the top or it's just too much. Just hold space. They're going to process their emotions. And when they know that they have a safe space to process their emotions, it becomes easier. So then you can gain clarity when you understand your own energy type, emotional or non-emotional. And you gain this clarity on why certain emotions arise within you. Pay attention, become aware. That's step one in our 4-step process, awareness. You learn how to harness this energy for your personal growth. Hi, puppy. You're being so sweet. Yeah, we're talking about feelings, and you're just sending lots of love feelings. Yes, you are. All right, so back to reframing these feelings. It also means recognizing that everybody experiences these emotions differently. So the first thing we want to do is judge it, right? That's bad or that's too much, that's irrational. The first thing we want to do is judge it. But recognizing that everybody has a different emotional experience, what we can do instead is hold space, meaning let them go through their process the way they go through their process. Because if you let that happen for them, guess what? You're going to allow it to happen for you. And then you experience gaining this clarity. But there is no one size fits all approach when it comes to this expression of emotions, because some people may be more comfortable sharing their innermost thoughts. They're very open with sharing those. But there are others who prefer to keep these very private. They may have one person, that's it, because of previously experiencing sabotage or betrayal, those kind of emotions, trust. So it starts with trusting yourself to trust someone else and finding that foundation and accepting the differences in emotional expression, because our world is creating emotional reactions. So if your best friend for the longest time is the opposite political view that you are, this podcast is not about politics. However, this happens, right? So you're witnessing friends of years and years breaking up because of what? An expression. That's it. So if we hold space for people to express, not saying that's good, that's bad, but hold space in a neutral space, then you create this community, you create this foundation, and for it really is more authentic communication without judgment or shame. And we are, as a society, on a community level, We are so lacking this and in much need of this. So what I do is I train the leaders, leaders, hey, leaders. And who are the best leaders right now energetically? Projectors. Projectors, you got to let go of shit, stop the bitterness, heal the bitterness. We can help with that, but integrate the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of that bitterness. What we're not trying to do is sweep it under the rug as if it never happened, because those experiences are your power. What we want to do is integrate the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of that through feelings, through sensory, through all the nervous main channels. So we have our five senses. So we use all of those because as humans, we are wired to experience a wide range of emotions. But our society has created a stigma around certain feelings that have led us to believe that, some emotions are good while others are bad. But this has resulted in the word, and this word has attachments to it. This word feelings has been tainted and misunderstood. So again, in human design theory, and it's just a theory, take what resonates with you and let go of the rest. This is a wonderful practice in letting go. Emotional authority energy types make up of about 51% of the population. The other 49% create this pushback, tension, back. The more emotional an emotional being gets, the more pushback of the energy because it's uncomfortable for a non-emotional being. I know my husband's a sacral being, so it's not comfortable for him when I get tossed and turned and not riding the emotional wave. I'm not riding it, but rather it's riding me and I'm tossing and turning and trying to figure out all of these emotions and process them. So he's learned to give me space instead of judging and saying, I shouldn't be doing that. And we've learned to work with each other and discuss these emotions that come up and what they're saying to me, because sometimes I don't have the language of it yet. I might have visual, I might have auditory, but definitely a lot of feeling. So many of us that are non-emotional become uncomfortable. And the energy that we send out, and its emotional authority is very powerful energy. This energy comes back to us as pushback, tension. So what we want to do is, instead of creating that pushback, and we've got tools for this, we're learning to get on the wave and ride it. So when we're riding an emotional wave, here's a tip. Don't make any major decisions during that down wave or up wave. You want to be riding in the middle way. You're not right or left or right or left. You're not either way, but you're right in the middle. And when you're in the middle, you see both. So this is a very powerful place to be. And the truth is that all emotions serve a purpose. They allow us to connect with ourselves and others on a deeper level, provide insight to what matters most to us, and help guide our decision-making process. The problem arises when we suppress or ignore our feelings because they don't align with societal norms and conditioning. So the first step in our four-step process of initiating the success mechanism that is already in your design, the first step, and to begin recognizing your own feelings, that's the first step, awareness. Okay, my body's tight. That's a feeling. I'm feeling anger. That's a feeling. I'm feeling frustrated. That's a feeling. Pay attention to what body signals your nervous system is telling you. And when we suppress or ignore those feelings that don't align with ourself, but rather condition ourselves to align with the norms and conditioning of society. So awareness is key. And begin recognizing your own feelings because it's important to become aware of your body's physical sensations. Our bodies hold onto emotional experiences through muscle tension and relaxation. Because remember, in the brain, the pain pleasure center of the brain, it's in the same spot. I mean, it's the same place of the brain. So it's very important when you're tensing up but having a good time and relaxing and trying to relax into something that you don't want to do. So the pain pleasure center of the brain is the same center. So when you feel this tightness or constriction in your body, it may indicate fear coming up. Your body might be experiencing symptoms of, I know I have to be careful because I'm not a licensed therapist. So the words, your body's tight. And medicine might say we can't use those words, but symptoms of anxiety might come up or stress. And we all experience stress differently. But experience also open and relaxed feelings. This could indicate satisfaction, contentment, peace. Pay attention to what your body is saying and how often, what percentage of the time are you tight and what percentage of the time are you relaxed? Pay attention, ask those questions of your body. It will tell you the answers. However, it is not necessary to name the specific emotions that you are experiencing, especially at first, if you're not used to talking about your feelings. But just notice if your body feels opened or closed off. Just pay attention. It's like, I had that thought or somebody said that, and all of a sudden my body is closed off. All of a sudden I'm experiencing fill in the blank, frustration, anger, bitterness, whatever that is. And notice the patterns in your three-dimensional reality because it's going to show you how different situations make you feel. Because this is the power of presence. Noticing and paying attention to the patterns and showing you different situations, how they make you feel. When you're coming from this space and not judging it, that's bad, that's good, I don't want to be here, I'm mad, I'm hanging on to that idea, I'm hanging on to that belief. Whatever that is, when you recognize that, this is the power of presence. Once you can recognize the physical sensation associated with an emotion, such as tightness in the chest for fear, try acknowledging the feelings without judgment, and then reward yourself for acknowledging the feeling. Because this creates a little bit of space between I am frustrated to I am experiencing frustration. And that comes to step number 2, that shift. How do you make that shift? That shift comes from I am frustrated or I am angry to I am feeling frustration. I am feeling anger on the pain scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst. I'm going to give it a number. Let's just say it's a 6. So what you're doing is you're making the subjective objective. And once we do that, we can track and measure our results. And this is important for me, being a 5/1 manifester. I want to be able to track my results because I want to know what's working. And in order to know what's working, I have to experiment with it. So I have been experimenting with this for many, many years. So now that you recognize it, the next step is mindful awareness. Simply observe the feeling for what it is. Okay, I'm frustrated. It's a 6. Then we go into the third step of the 4-step mechanism that is activated, and that is integration. Information about how you're responding internally. We want to integrate the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of that experience. This creates mindful, or what my friend Carmen calls feelfulness. You're connecting with the feeling. You're tuning in to your body's signals without judgment. Okay. So all of a sudden, I'll be working with a client and they'll start saying, oh, just the pain on my shoulders, it just feels like I'm carrying the weight of the world. So that language right there, we want to integrate the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding while releasing the reaction to it, the pain to it, releasing that. And we train your nervous system how to do this. And then the fourth step we get into after the third step. But this fourth step is what all mammals do. But this awareness, this mindfulness, tuning into your body's signals without judgment, right there, that is key. The benefits of practicing non-judgmental awareness. And this just involves noticing. And it is a process. It is a process. It's a deconditioning process because many of us are trained to react as opposed to using emotional intelligence, critical thinking, and then responding. So instead, we're just taking it in and then project out, vomiting out, right? Do we see this in our environment right now? So we want to pay attention to our body and not fall into the nervous system groupthink because we want to be like everyone else and do the right thing. But instead, interpret for yourself, noticing for yourself those physical sensations without attaching a label to it or trying to interpret them. Just let them be what they are. My body's tight. You don't have to label it. You don't have to know why. Recognize it and then reward yourself for recognizing it. And then after that, explore ways that these emotions that align with you, such as journaling about what just happened. I know several people who like to journal, releasing, coming into the new moon to the full moon. So we're releasing, letting go so that when the moon is bright, we're allowing in the energy to fill the space that is your blueprint, aligning with you. So coming from the new moon to the full moon, journaling, releasing in a safe way. So I like to do neuro drawing. That's usually a 3-hour workshop, but this communicates linguistically with the nervous system, and you draw out through a process to create alignment and smoothness within your energy and connection, especially connection. So many of us are disconnected. And right now we are disconnected from community. And that's what we do. That's what we do. We explore different tools. That is why we have the human design deconditioning experiment. And this experiment starts, first of all, with how your energy works. Let's take a look at your blueprint. You just need to know a few things. And if you don't, we can figure out a way to. I know a few people who don't know the time or location of their birth, and that's okay. There's techniques and tools that we can use that will create alignment for you. And I would love to have you check out your chart if you haven't already at hypnosisbydesign.com/human design chart. And definitely check out the events that we have coming up and the courses and all the wonderful, wonderful things that we're working on behind the scenes for the new year. But listening to your inner wisdom, through this mind-body connection, this will emphasize the value of cultivating your mind-body connection as a whole, your awareness, what's happening underneath the surface and your nervous system, and being more attuned with the body and recognizing when it's holding on to tension versus openness. And we can better understand ourselves emotionally. And this is the power of connecting with your feelings. All right. So, with that said, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you loved, and I want to know what you would love more of. And in the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, do the bells, whistles, shares, all of that wonderful stuff to get this message out there, because our goal is to align as many leaders as we can. Because yeah, let's light ourselves up, because when you are in alignment with who you are, what manifests for you in your life, many are saying is just magical. I mean, you can only put your own word on it, but only you can do the work. We are just here to invite you to activate that mechanism within you. And then once that mechanism is activated within you, it becomes self-directed, self-healing. And this is the power that you have. All right. So with that, I will see you on the next one.